Hi, and welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shape the game. Supported by listeners like David Preston, who went to thecurlingshow.com and made a secure donation to this effort. I'm Dean Gemmel, and in this edition, we talk to a guy who's back in the Tim Hortons Brier, this time without a mullet. A world champion in 2000, back in the Tim Hortons Brier in 2009, and a guy who even manages to bring intensity to his emails. Brent Pierce, welcome back to The Curling Show.
Thanks for having me, Dean.
Hey, first, I got to thank you. I kid you about your emails because they're laden with exclamation marks or exclamation points, but you've also you boosted my Facebook group by tenfold, I think, so I appreciate that. And you're an early listener to the show, and I appreciate that, too.
Not a problem.
All right. Hey, back when you won in 2000 with Greg McCauley, did you ever think it was going to be 9 years before you represented BC again?
Well, no, I wouldn't have predicted that, no.
You just, yeah, I mean, it's been a bit of a long walk for you, different teams. You know, Reed Carruthers in a Facebook update there the other day, he said he thinks curling is the devil. All along those years, were there times when you thought maybe that was the case?
I don't know. I was trying to tell the media the other day that I was trying to convince them that maybe I took 8 years off and then just started back up again this year, and I'm going back to the show.
Yeah, you just retired, right?
Well, but I was trying to fly by them, but it doesn't look like it's going to work.
Yeah, the trouble is you were playing and running spiels and doing a lot else in curling, so it's a little tough, Brent. But,
I guess I can't. BS them like that.
Yeah. So you never had. You had you had different teams, different combinations, and certainly some talented lineups. So why is this lineup this year? Why do you think this is the one that's worked?
I think it's just a little bit of give and take on both sides. You know, I mean, they came and they talked to me a little bit last year when I decided to go play with the team at Edmonton there, and they were talking to me prior to that. And then Brent came along and those guys made the offer to me, and those guys were kind of humming and hawing at that point. So I decided to take the opportunity and go play with Brent and those guys, and it maybe didn't work out as well as we hoped it would. And then again, after this past season, they came and talked to me again, and this time we talked about it. We talked about a couple different things. We hummed and hawed, and we thought it'd be pretty good, though. Sean and I have been really good friends for quite a while. Played against each other quite a bit. He started out playing against Team McCauley even back when I was playing with Greg, so he goes back a bit, but we get along real good. We have a lot of fun. They asked me to make sure I, tried to enjoy myself, and then I said to them, look, let's make sure let's turn the intensity up a little bit. So there's a little bit of give and take on both sides.
So you met halfway, did you? Because you are known as an intense player, but and Sean may be a little quieter guy, and sometimes that combination really does work pretty well.
Yeah, he's got some of the same qualities as Greg does. I guess you kind of, when you play with a guy for as long as I played with Greg and did what we did, you sometimes tend to look for those same kind of qualities in other people. Not that I was necessarily looking for them in Sean, but he does have some similar qualities as far as his approach to the game and different things. So, and of course, he's got his unique qualities that are different from Greg as well. But we just seem to get along pretty good out there. I mean, not that we don't have our moments. I think every team has their moments, and certainly every team I've been on, somehow I seem to manage to cause all kinds of little moments at times. But
no, come on.
That's just the package. That's the package.
That's the package you get with Brent Pierce? A couple of moments.
Get some moments sometimes, But it's been working out pretty good this year. We've been consistent all year long, fairly consistent all year long. The only tournament that we didn't do, or at least get a result in, is, of course, my own home tournament, which I can't seem to win a game in for the last 5 or 6 years.
And that's the New Westminster Spiel, right?
West Coast, yeah.
The PCC Pacific Coast Classic, PWC, PricewaterhouseCoopers Pacific Coast Classic.
Correct.
And you run that spiel too, don't you?
Well, I try. I'm in the background there. There is a chairman, but I kind of work pretty close with her, and I tend to dabble into most things that revolve around that spiel.
Good for you. I applaud players who get involved though and help create spiels and create events. Hey, the BC Provincials were pretty wild. Not that I could watch any of it, but following the results, it seemed early on, especially, like anybody was going to beat anybody at any moment in the whole field. I watched Rick Folk zoom up to the top and was wondering if I was getting seniors or masters results for a moment there. But what was going on?
We got off to a little bit of a slow start ourselves, and Rick was obviously really good out of the gate. The ice was really fast. It was moving a fair bit, but it was pretty fast. So that was probably helpful for for him and stuff like that because he could still throw pretty hard and make shots and stuff like that. He actually played really well, and his team actually looked like they were playing pretty well.
Oh, I don't doubt that they were playing well. I don't mean to say that he can't play. Just they weren't my pick to be at the top of the board.
Yeah, and I mean, even Graber and Windsor there, they were pretty solid most of the week. Even right through it, they were. Just I don't know. I think that in the end,
what do you guys beat them in the 1-2 in an extra end or something?
Yeah. They got a 4-ball on us in the second.
Right.
It was the third end. First of all, we blanked the first. Sean bonked in the second end. And then the third end, I think Sean made both the shots, but I don't think there was any made before that. So he had a nose hit for 5, of which he thankfully jammed and rolled out and only got 4. So it could have been worse.
Right.
2 ends later, though, we were ahead by a point. So, we really hung in there. And I think at the start of the week, we were a little bit off. Took us a while to get going. I mean, we've been like that all year where we haven't stuck around the A event and sometimes the B event for very long, but when our backs have been against the wall this year, we've tended to play our best curling.
So have you talked about figuring out how to get a better start at the Tim Hortons Brier?
No, well, it seems to be.
Who do you start with, actually? I haven't looked at the draw that closely. Who do you start with?
We start with Jacobou.
Okay.
Northern Ontario.
Right.
Northern Ontario, yeah. And then I think it ramps up pretty hard from there.
What about the final against Jay Peachy out there? That was a pretty back-and-forth game. At one point, I guess late, he had a chance, like a tough shot for a 4, though, didn't he?
No, he never had a shot for 4 at all.
No? Okay.
In the fourth end, we were in a little bit of trouble. Sean made a run back, which, of course, if he hit it off at all, he could have possibly got 3 or 4, probably more than likely 3, which would have put him up, 4, or would have put him up 3 or 4 points. Sean made the run back perfectly, rolled dead, buried in the 3/4 of the button, and we stole a point instead of him getting a bundle. So that was a pretty big turning point in at least the early part of the game.
Hey, what's up out there in BC? You get a lot of changeover among your men's teams. Is it the air? Is it the BC living? What happens?
I think it's just a matter of there's not a lot of youth. I've always thought that as soon as they took it out of the high schools and really made it so that all the kids at least took 5 weeks or 4 or 5 weeks out of their year and spending it out there, hurt the sport a lot. Not just in British Columbia, but I think probably everywhere when they took it out of the curriculum and made it so that they didn't necessarily have to do curling. I think it hurt quite a bit, and junior numbers, everything's down in British Columbia as far as numbers go. I think it's the same as Maritimes. It's the same kind of thing that comes into it. They think it's really, really difficult to compete against the guys that are out the tour like 8-10 weeks a year, sometimes 12 weeks a year with Martin and those guys. They don't want to go out there. They don't want to put in the effort that it takes to compete with those kind of guys is what it boils down to. And I mean, sometimes, I have had a couple years here where I wonder if it was worth it either. Sure.
I couldn't agree with you more on the high school point. I think it's a big problem. I think what we're doing is only getting juniors. We have some really talented juniors, but we only get junior curlers whose parents play now.
Realistically, I think that's what's happening, and I think that's why I've been pretty outspoken about the high school thing, which thinking it was quite the mistake to do that. Even if they had to have a high school nationals, I think it would be very, very beneficial to the sport to have that, because I think if you look at what's gone on, I mean, it's coming a little bit too elite. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with having great athletes at the top of any sport. It's necessary. It's just the grassroots part of it has to be, attention has to be paid to that as well. And I think the junior program, although, the Junior Nationals was a good event and the final was really, really good this year, I think that what ends up happening is it's just not promoting the sport to the, even close to the extent that it needs to be.
I totally agree. I think we have, like I said, I think you see these juniors who throw it great and are great players, but there's not a lot of them, and that's the problem. I mean, if we only get the kids of current curling club members, we're not going to grow. We're just going to, we're not going to get every member's kids to play. So, hey, speaking of the controversy surrounding teams, there was even a post on Curling Zone that said your team would be done after the Tim Hortons Brier, but I think it came from your workplace. So the best thing is, I think there were probably people that bought into it.
We had a pretty good laugh about that one.
Yeah,
I got lots of employees that work at my place, and they follow me pretty good, and they were out there in pretty good numbers at the provincial. So I'm sure somebody thought it was pretty funny.
I think what's so great is that a lot of people thought it was real. So
I phoned Sean and said, "Man, you know what? I don't think it's a real smart idea for you to can your third right before the Worlds."
Nice.
What the hell? You can fly that way if you want.
Right before the Worlds, that's the plan, is it? Oh, I got you. All right. So.
Well, if he was going to cam me after the Brier, I said that'd be right before the Worlds. I was, being optimistic.
Nice. Hey, the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, the final is on as we speak here. Good game so far, and one that for people who criticize women's curling is certainly a great game through the first 6 ends. But what about this Marla Mallet? Boy, she's doesn't seem fazed by anything out there. Doesn't seem to care what anyone else thinks of her either.
Yeah, no, she's that's about as controversial as I've ever seen her be in her life. She's a pretty good friend of mine, so I think she's done a really good job this week. I mean, it's easy to criticize her style, but I think to point the finger at her is maybe it's a slow news day or something like that. I'm not sure what's gone on there this week, but realistically, she's played a conservative style for most of her career, if not all of it, and this week, I think she's actually played very, very well. I think her team supported her well. Her third is really getting the best out of her. Yeah, they don't look like they have any nerves tonight, which is really nice. Difficult game to play for all of them, especially they've been trying to get to that game for a lot of years, amongst, I guess, different teams that they've been on. And, I think it was really, really, it's been good run for them, and they've worked really hard.
Yeah, I mean, the criticism aside that's out there, I mean, they've been awfully focused. Of course, I predicted Jennifer Jones wouldn't make the playoffs, and now she's making me look pretty bad with that prediction. But, hey, what about the attendance out there in Victoria? It looks like a pretty good crowd tonight, but I guess you say curling is struggling in BC a bit, but it seems like you can't really get the big numbers at big events.
No, I think
there's a lot to do in BC. That's part of the problem, right? I mean, geez, you can ski, you can do hike, whatever else, right?
Yep, all year.
Yeah.
And I had my kids out playing soccer this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you have it in Edmonton in February, March, and there's not a whole lot else to do.
No, they'll be out watching curling, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, there's just so much to do here. It's fairly mild, so guys are still swinging golf clubs all year round, whether they're at the range or whatever they're doing, right? Whistler's just up the hill, and I mean, Victoria is beautiful in itself. There's so many things to do. People are always out on the water in one way, shape, or form, and there's just a lot to do.
So it's the people, I guess, a little up in Kamloops. I can never figure out what. I mean, maybe I just don't get. I don't know the Kamloops market, but they can never do much with their events there either.
That's a pretty small area for the venues that they've. When they try to put it in the arena there. I mean, unless it's hockey, I think they struggle to get real good crowds and with whatever they do up there.
What do you think about TSN sticking with NASCAR?
Didn't like it.
Jeez, eh?
Didn't like it. Cause, I really wanted to watch the start. I mean, we talk about nerves and stuff. I mean, the mental part of the game is so intriguing to watch. I mean, if I'm not in an event, I like watching it just because I want to watch people or competitors that I may have to compete against in the future and just watch how they react to different kinds of situations. Obviously, this one, when you're playing in the finals of a national, you don't do that every day. So it's one of those things where you want to watch people and see how they react. It's always interesting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, the human drama is the best part of curling. I mean, it really is.
Well, and especially when a lot of us are pretty good friends too, right? So
sure.
You're kind of pulling for them. You kind of the other one pretty well too. Of course, Jennifer's played many of these games, but pressure comes in so many different forms, and her pressure is to repeat or to maintain the the kind of the bar that she's set within the sport herself and for their team, right?
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about the Scotties final and the Tim Hortons Brier final is that it really is a winner take all event.
That it is.
You lose, you get a, like John Mead always says, you lose, you get a candy dish or a plaque, and if you win, it's pretty good. Yeah, I mean,
the way I look at it, there's a bunch of CTRS points on the line, this week when we head to the Brier. It's big for our team to make the playoffs, just to keep our our hopes alive to maybe grab one of those last pre-trial spots, because I still think we're in the running for it. We not only have the Brier left to play in.
You're in the Canada Cup?
No, we lost the We lost
the
eighth game to Ursel, which was huge, and then they pulled out.
Right.
So I would have liked that spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got the Bear Mountain event once we get back from the week off from the Brier. We're over in Victoria playing the Bear Mountain event, which is another event that's going to be some serious points there. And when we won the province there, another fringe benefit of that for us is that I think it secured our spot in the Players' Championship. So.
Good.
More CTRS points for us. So.
All right. Well, you're on you still have a life. I think I don't know what spot you're in actually right now. I haven't looked.
Well, they haven't updated since the provincials are all over across the country, but I think we're in probably, once they updated, I think we're in about 11th or 12th.
Okay.
12th. And we were in 16th going in with Jacobs out of Northern Ontario right behind us, and then he was in the final.
Right.
So, we realistically, he would have leapfrogged us right there, and that would have been pretty much the end of the line. Well, not the end of the line, but yeah, it would have been the end of the line because the cutoff for it is after the Brier.
So you owe those Northern Ontario boys a beer after the game.
Might have to.
Winner, no matter how you do.
No matter how. No.
All right, Brent, we finished with a run back because I know you listen to the show, so I'll get started.
Go for it.
Team Greg McCauley's less than great season.
Disappointing.
Yeah, sort of surprising. That team and Pat Simmons' team surprised me this year with their less than stellar results.
Yeah, that's a big struggle there.
Yeah, John Schuster's team winning the U.S. Olympic trials on Saturday.
I'm happy for him. I talk to him infrequently, and really happy for him.
Yeah, I think they'll be good reps. That was a game filled with a lot of human drama. Basically, about $100,000 game, I think, for the winner and about zero for the loser. So. Yeah,
I hear the other. I don't know who the other guy is, but apparently he's quite young.
Yeah, Tyler George. They're all pretty young except for John Benton, I guess, and the two leads, and but the rest of them are pretty young crew, sort of, and a lot of them play out of Duluth, so it was a bit of a club game in a way too. So now Alex Rodriguez.
I'm a Red Sox fan.
I want to ask you about that. How is a guy from Vancouver a Red Sox fan? That makes no sense.
After all these years, I still don't have a real good answer for that, other than I just absolutely... my dad took me there when I was 13. He took me to Fenway Park. We went on a trip across the country with his family, and he ended up taking me to Fenway Park, and I watched Carl Yastrzemski get the game-winning RBI in a game against Toronto, and I just never, ever let it go since. I'm just a huge, massive, diehard Red Sox fan. It's insanity, but...
Unbelievable.
Can't seem to shake it, unfortunately.
Well, you do know what we call people from Massachusetts down here in the New York area, right?
No.
It's not charitable, anyways. I'll let you look it up, but yeah, I can't believe you're a Sox fan, anyways. How about the U.S. softwood lumber tariffs?
Oh man, you asked me that one last time.
I did.
Oh, you saved that question, didn't you?
I did. I thought I'd bring it up again.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that before you called, and I'm like, I wonder if he's going to try and pull one of those questions again. Turns out you did.
I'll let you go. How about that ancient AMJ Campbell Van Lines commercial they keep running during the Season of Champions events?
Well, they could maybe just update the photo.
Yeah. It's going to be funny during the Brier. Russ is going to look so old in that commercial, right? Or are you so young?
Yeah.
I mean,
no kidding.
That commercial's so old, like you wouldn't even move that kind of TV anymore. You just throw it out.
That's true.
I think they got Kenny McDermott on the ice. I think it's Kenny McDermott playing with Russ. I think that was 1 year in that shot. Anyways, yeah. But got to get those guys to change it. Good for them. I shouldn't criticize them too much of their sporting curling. And finally, Black Pudding.
Love him.
He loves them. He's a big fan of the band. I tell you, they keep telling me they're going to be on iTunes shortly, but you've got the complimentary disc, so.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I want to hear if they have any new stuff. I want it.
All right, yeah. Well, they're sort of a part-time band, but I keep telling them they have a weird little audience in curling. So, anyways, I want to get them to play at a Brier sometime. That's what I need to make happen.
Well, I was hoping they were going to be in Calgary. That would have been good.
All right. Well, you got Pat Ryan there and his daughter, so
Nice.
All right. Hey, I give everybody a chance to name their sponsors, as you know, too, Brent. So let me know who is helping you guys out this year.
Well, this year we've had Rogers Communications step in for us big time. They were one of our largest sponsors. Lafarge Cement, those guys come in pretty nice for us. Performance Brush, Martin's been a big supporter of mine for a bunch of years, so really do appreciate that. And my company, Surfwood Supply, has been a big, huge supporter of my curling career over the years.
Well, all right. Good for them, and good for you for getting back to the Brier this year. It's nice to see hard work pay off for somebody. I always like to see that. And good luck out in Calgary.
Thanks a lot, Dean.
That's Brent Pierce on The Curling Show. As always, thanks for listening. Enjoy this great week of curling that's upon us, either in Calgary or on TSN. Here's Black Pudding.
Feel the power.